I do wonder how Perry would do against. Whoops. How Perry would do against Radagon. So I might try that out. I'm still planning on using my Black Blade summon. Although for these first couple attempts this session, I might just try some stuff on my own just to see what works before I start summoning the assassin again. So I really like that summon because I love, first of all, the life drain, but also the fact that they can like really just like get in, attack, and then get out. They're very mobile, and that helps kind of keep it alive longer, I think, because it doesn't get beat down by the boss as quickly, because it's really able to just kind of slip in and out of the boss's range. That's what I discovered using it in the Melania fight. Boosts non-physical damage negation. What kind of damage is Radagon doing most? I'm assuming it would be... Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't count as... Would that count as holy damage? So I'm going to put that on. How much does that do, by the way? Let me... look at my... So my holy is 151.20. That raises it to 33. So quite a bit. I don't know how much that actually deflects in practice, but yeah. More HP restoration could be kind of cool. See, I'm really thinking I'm going to keep this on because I'm going to rely on the Moonlight Greatsword attacks more than I am my spells. So I don't feel as much need to have these spell talismans on. I feel like I could probably replace them with other ones that are going to be more suited for this fight. Raises charge attack power of sorceries, incantations, and skills. That is one thing that I might be able to use. Okay. I'll go in with these talismans. We'll see how it goes. This first time through, I actually am really curious to see how parries would do. So we're gonna try parrying Radagon. I need to remember the timing there. Okay, well, you're not gonna parry a fucking lightning bolt. I don't know why I tried that. Parrying, you don't think so? You can parry! You can parry! You can. I got too caught up in it and forgot to like block the next attack, but that was a successful parry. Yeah, parrying without dying is the ideal scenario. If I parry a whole chain of attacks but then die to the lightning or whatever anyway, then, you know. That does make me think though. I wonder, will this stack if I put the non-physical? It does stack. Okay. I'll put that on too then. Now I'm gonna have like extra holy damage negation. Okay. Let's do some parrying. Let's see which attacks I can do well. Whoops. only know a fraction of what incantation buffs can do and look at what they have to do to mimic a fraction of our power. Sorcerers when incantation mages when looking at sorcerers. Arcane mages when looking at incantation mages and sorcerers. Alright, come on. Okay, I'm dead. He's, like, actually not difficult to parry, though, I gotta say. If you can separate in your mind the attacks you have to dodge versus the attacks you have to parry, his attacks are not difficult to parry. I'm gonna go in and just practice that one more time. And then I'm gonna bring back out the summon. Which, speaking of which, I wonder if I do have any other summons that could be particularly useful. Sleep against Radagon, I wonder. It would be interesting to see. I'm thinking about trying this bow user. Maybe even one of these. Honestly, I'm gonna go in one more time and do my parry training. And then we're gonna go back to the round table, and I think I want to level up that sleep arrow summon, because I think that could be interesting. If sleep actually works. Maybe I should see if sleep works on Radagon first before I commit to that. Ouch. Damn. I do have my Saint Trina's sword. Probably wouldn't do that much damage, but it inflicts sleep pretty quickly. I'm gonna try that, and then if this works, if I can sleep Radagon, then I'm gonna go back to the round table and level up that sleep archer. I don't think this is doing shit. I'm just gonna try this one, though. I'm not even gonna... I mean, if I can kill him, you know? It's like the opposite of the Predator quote. If I can kill him, then he can bleed. I'm just gonna try this Spirit Ash without actually leveling it up, just so I can see how it behaves in the fight. I'm just curious. Okay, he doesn't seem to want to do any ranged attacks, actually. Okay, so I don't think I'm using that one. I thought I was gonna get a great bow archer, and that was just gonna be, like, its job. I'm gonna take the dogs in here and see if they can rot Radagon. I'm in my experimentation phase of the boss fight, just like I was doing with Melania. Because my thinking is if I can get this phase down with Radagon as painlessly as possible, then that'll leave me a lot more leeway when I'm gonna face the Elden Beast. Okay. Well, I didn't get to see if he gets rotted. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna go with my earlier plan of using the Bloodhound Knight. I'll go level him up. And we'll see how that goes. Oh, you know what? Let me come here first. Actually, I can see what Mohg's Great Rune does. Mohg's Great Rune. Great Rune of Shardbearer Mohg. Its blessing grants a blessing of blood to summoned phantoms and imparts a phantom Great Rune upon successful invasion? Mohg and Morgott are twin brothers and their Great Runes are naturally similar, but Mohg's rune is soaked in accursed blood from his devout love for the wretched mire that he was born into far below the earth. What? Summons get attack power if bleeding happens. Okay. That's kind of useless to me then. Makes attacks more likely to break enemy stances. You know what? Radagon seems like he can definitely be fairly stance broken fairly easily, so might put that on. I'll use the Bloodhound Knight. Throw the frost at him. Bloodhound Knight should be doing bleed, so the bleed and the frost together should be pretty good combination. I can throw this on. I can use my physic to try to stance break him more. I have a good feeling about this round. Okay. Yeah, this isn't... That went really well. That went really, really well. We're going into Elden Beast very healthy. Very good, full of resources. I'll let this play again. I'm sure you've seen this cutscene quite a lot. So what am I going to do against this? I know I can ride Torrent, which makes dodging some of those projectiles a lot easier. Maybe I could stick with frost spells and see if I can frostbite it. And then perhaps hit it with the full moon and start throwing some comets. Because it's pretty difficult to get up close. I think spells might be my best bet. Alright, so we're gonna do this. Need to actually have FP first. Shit. Okay, this is where it's good to get out of here with Torrent. Oh. Alright, just me and you. Oh shit. Okay. Fuck. These, like, ground AoEs are pretty rough. And I'm almost wondering if maybe the stance breaking physic is actually not the move, and I want to save this for Elden Beast. Because me and Bloodhound kind of destroyed Radagon, so I'm thinking I could probably do it without the physic and save the physic for Elden Beast. And yes, I agree. I think having iframes for certain circumstances makes it harder. For others, it makes it nice, like for those tracking projectiles and for the circle AoE thing, some of those. I think it makes it nicer for some of those. Yeah, I'm just gonna go two-hand. I said I was destroying him last time, now I'm fucking it up. Bloodhound, get the last hit. Thank you. Yeah, the summon, I mean, literally just drawing the aggro is half the battle. Like, okay, see, now I feel like is probably a good time to cast some of this stuff. Grab Torrent, get the hell out of here. Let's drink this. Oh, there goes that. See, that attack does actually get more, like, considerably more difficult on Torrent. Oh. That fucking attack timing is crazy. die, motherfucker! What the fuck? What the fuck? How long does this go? Oh my god! It's infinite! Shit. Radagon has fast attacks. Elden Beast, yeah, has really, really long startups. Let me go back to Tish for a second and see... if she is any more survivable in the Elden Beast phase. Because Bloodhound Knight goes down really quickly and as soon as we get to Elden Beast. So it might be worth it to just... Okay. Well, that's that. Alright. Oh well. God, that grab. If you get hit by that, it's just over. Literally no chance. Actually... What, if you have like a shit ton of HP, does it not? Holy fucking shit, yeah, just get hit by every attack, dude. Perfect idea. Okay. Not the worst run, not the best though. Now let's see, how's Black Tish gonna do? Black Knife Tish gonna do here? What am I doing? You're over there. Okay. Black Knife Assassin definitely staying alive longer. I'm telling you, dude. Actually the best. Oh, this fucking... That was a lot of good damage. That was a lot of good damage. Come on. For real? Actually done? God slain. Okay, before anything else, let's look at this. The Elden Remembrance. Remembrance of the Elden beast hewn into the Erd tree. The power of its namesake can be unlocked by the finger eater, of course. It was a vassal beast of the greater will and living incarnation of the concept of order. Damn. Touch Fractured America. Which is... Oh, I guess that's what Radagon was, like, residing inside of? What is this? Summon Ronnie. Here I am. So, it's basically just either touch this with or without Ronnie, then? I really feel that I want to summon Ronnie here. I followed Ronnie's questline the whole way through. I mean, literally, this is, like, pure proof right here that I followed Ronnie through to the end. And even this coat here, Blythe's coat, like, so much of this journey has been following alongside Ronnie and her crew. I don't... I feel still angry about the fact that Ronnie sent assassins to fucking kill Blythe, though. So I don't know how I actually feel about her. Like, so much of this is because of her. So in a good way, so much of the great parts of my journey are because of her and because of her instructions. But also, I don't know if she... I have such mixed feelings about her. I'm gonna summon Ronnie here. I'm gonna see if I can talk to her. I just want to see. I haven't seen her in a while. If it triggers the ending, so be it. That's my choice is I want to see
the battle is over.
Ronnie through. I started it, and I want to finish it.
I do solemnly swear to every living being and every living soul. Now cometh the age of the stars. 1,000-year voyage under the wisdom of the moon.
Huh.
Here beginneth the chill night that encompasses all, reaching the great beyond. Into fear, doubt, and loneliness, as the path stretcheth into darkness. Well then, shall we? My fair consort eternal.
Oh my god! After like 3 years, I reached credits of Elden Ring. I feel proud of beating Elden Ring because this game was fucking hard. And I don't even like to talk about this shit, but like I know that there's discourse among some annoying people that like, oh, if you play the game with sorceries, you're not even really playing, or like if you play the game with spirit ashes, then you didn't like really beat the challenge or whatever. I don't care. I played it my way. I played it the way that was most fun to me. Also, you know what? I will actually say, you know what pisses me off about arguments like that is like the developers put that shit in the game for people to use. Like, when people were like, dude, you don't understand, you have to do like a pure dex parry build if you actually really want to beat the game, otherwise you're just playing on baby mode. It's like, do those people think that the developers put all of these tools in the game with the intention of people not using them? Anyway, okay. That was just a rant I had in there for a while. The point is, I feel very proud of finishing this journey. And to be fair, it's not completely finished because I have the DLC to play. But I'm separating that as its own thing in my mind. To me, like the base game of Elden Ring is now complete. And I did it. And I did it in my way. I did it in the way that was most fun to me. And had such a fulfilling time doing that. Following through on that Ronnie questline, getting all those cool sorceries, the Moonlight Greatsword, all of this stuff that felt so specific to the way that I wanted to play this game, made it such a personal and like great experience. And I'm so happy that I'm done with it, but that I have experienced it now. I'm so happy to have experienced this game in its fullest. This is usually the point in a playthrough where I would go through everything that I loved about a game and talk about how good I think it is. What can we appreciate about it? But the thing about Elden Ring is it is like maybe the most praised game in recent memory by everybody you know. Like, it almost goes without saying. In fact, it does go without saying to say that this is a triumph in game design. I would say a masterpiece of game design. This is everything that From Software has learned over the past, decade and a half of designing these types of action games, these Souls-likes, like, condensed into the most perfected experience. And of course, there are still some of those weird little quirks that From Software has. I've talked about how it's annoying that you have to reload areas to progress quest lines, and you have to, just some of this weird stuff. The way the multiplayer system works is still kind of like, it feels weird and outdated. There's a lot of weird stuff, right? But like, all in all, this is everything that everybody loves about Dark Souls 1 through 3, about Bloodborne, about Sekiro. All of that stuff just in this one, like, grand experience. Another absolute banger from Software. It really doesn't even need to be said how incredible this game is, how the world design is so fleshed out and thoughtful and interesting in so many ways. This fantasy world is such a unique vision, just as all of their other worlds have been. The characters are so interesting. Like, there's such a grand amount of interesting and awesome NPCs in this game, and so many of them have storylines that you can follow and unravel and understand through so many of the descriptions and quest lines and whatever else. And I think more than any other game, the experience of going through those descriptions, going through the quest lines, through the world, and finding these environmental storytelling pieces is so perfect, and it is so satisfying to jump into this world as a stranger and slowly come to understand, the fractured universe that it exists in. The world in complete disarray that you are shambling your way through and picking up the pieces and understanding where things went wrong and how all these puzzle pieces fell. It's a triumph. That is the word to use to describe Elden Ring. It is a fucking triumph of a video game. And like I said, that almost goes completely without saying because everybody knows how incredible this game is, but it's still worth singing its praises because this is what Miyazaki and the team did with Elden Ring is like, it's fucking unbelievable. So yeah, I've known for a long time. I've loved Elden Ring since I started it. I've loved it this whole time. It was never going to go any other way. I was never going to say anything but what I'm saying now. But it still feels good to have it finished in the books and know, solidified, yes, this game is a fucking masterpiece, and I love it dearly. I guess for now, let's go ahead and check out what the Remembrance gives you. I don't even know if I looked at this one. We have the Axe of Godfrey. Weapon of Godfrey, Elden Lord. It was broken in a battle fought as leader of the Tarnished during the Long March. This weapon is symbolic of Godfrey's vow to conduct himself as a lord, later becoming an emblem of the Golden Lineage. In the days of the past, a crown was warranted with strength. Regal Roar, let loose a mighty war cry, raising attack power while sending out a shockwave that cannot be guarded against by stomping the ground, while active, strong attack becomes a lunging slash. And we have an Ash of War, Horolu's Earthshaker. This Ash of War grants an armament the heavy affinity and the following skill. Slam both hands onto the ground to violently shake the earth and unleash a shockwave. Follow up with an additional input to slam the ground again. And we also have the Elden Remembrance, Marika's Hammer. Stone hammer made in the lands of the Newman, outside the lands between. The tool with which Queen Marika shattered the Elden Ring, and Radagon attempted to repair it. The hammer partially broke upon shattering the ring, becoming splintered with rune fragments. Skill is Goldbreaker. Leap up high, and while suspended in midair, imbue the rune shard with the light before smashing it down hard into the ground. The heroic Radagon's signature attack. And the Sacred Relic Sword. Sword wrought from the remains of a god who should have lived a life eternal. Thoughts on what the weapon portends are many and varied. Some consider it the mark of a great sin or a sign of great devastation. Some think it is the end of an age, while others, the beginning. Unique skill, Wave of Gold. Imbue the sword with bygone golden glory, then fire it at foes. A wide golden wave fans out forward, sweeping through all enemies caught in its path. The tool with which Queen Marika shattered the Elden Ring, and Radagon attempted to repair it. Interesting. Do I recall the secret between Radagon and Marika? I don't think I do. I really wish I could remember all of the lore bits. I personally find it very difficult to keep all of the names and, the relations with each other in order. I don't know if that's just me. I don't know if other people have had an easier time, but I definitely have had a difficult time being like, okay, wait, this person was related to this person because of, Marika is Radagon, Radagon is Marika. You saw them change gender too in the final boss cutscene. Yeah, I did notice that. I didn't know if Radagon was just like, because it was the fractured body of Marika. I didn't know if Radagon was like using Marika's body, because I didn't remember that detail. That's interesting, though. I wonder if the NPCs, like, say anything different now that the game is over.
I see. Yep.
No, she don't give a shit that I'm the Elden Lord. I'm just here for spirit tuning. They don't give a fuck. I guess that's it. I guess that is all I really have to do for now in-game. And yeah, I pretty much always knew I was going to take Ronnie since I started and was in her quest line. I think she was a really interesting character. She definitely like a morally complex character. I would be really interested to see a bit more about her lore in the grand scheme of things. Now that I know the big picture, being able to have the full thing and see anything that I missed, I'd be very interested. I guess that's it. I'm gonna go check out the other endings and record that, but otherwise, I'm done in Elden Ring for now. It's really, really awesome to play. I'm really happy to be here and actually finish with this. What a grand playthrough this was. So I'm gonna check this out and see what else I missed. What other endings were possible that I didn't see? I'm very happy with the one that I got, but I'm still curious to know what maybe some of those other paths looked like. So let's check it out. So first we have the Age of Fracture ending. So placing Marika's head back on the body.
The fallen leaves tell a story of how a tarnished became Elden Lord. In our home, across the fog, the lands between. Our seed will look back upon us and recall an age of fracture.
Is that the player character in the throne? Definitely feels like sort of the default, where you take the throne, become the Elden Lord. So this one is the Age of Order. I'm assuming this is if you follow the Golden Order in some way.
The fallen leaves tell a story.
This is very similar so far.
Of how a tarnished became Elden Lord. In our home, across the fog, the lands between. Our seed will look back upon us and recall the age of order.
So is that the only thing that's changed? Is just the last voice line? That was very similar. Age of the Duskborn. A different symbol, or am I tripping? I think it is.
The fallen leaves tell a story.
Again?
Of how a tarnished became Elden Lord.
This looks different, though. It's foggy and rainy.
Across the fog, the lands between. Our seed will look back upon us and recall the age of the Duskborn.
Yeah, this is same cutscene, similar voice lines, but very different vibe with the way the environment has changed. I'm gonna have to look up which quest lines are related to these endings. Blessing of Despair is this ending. This fucking armor set. Ugh. Got to the mute button just in time before I sneezed.
The fallen leaves tell a story
It was different this time.
of how a tarnished became Elden Lord.
Everything looks fucked up and like inverted.
In our home, across the fog, the lands between.
That sky does not look good.
Our seed will look back upon us and recall the reviled curse that defined our age. The blessing of despair.
Okay. Don't think I like that age too much. Damn. Okay. And the Lord of Frenzied Flame. This is what I would have been locked into had I not done all that work to reverse the Frenzied Flame. Oh, so it just crumbles apart completely. Oh. Okay. Well, this is creepy. Oh my god. Okay. That's insane. Holy shit. Oh, there's more. Is that Melina?
Lord of Frenzied Flame. I will seek you as far as you may travel.
to deliver you what is yours.
What does that mean?
Destined death.
Oh. Oh, shit. That's pretty cool. That was a pretty cool ending. This is, of course, the one that I got. I'll let it play out anyway, though. The Age of the Stars. This is the ending involving Ronnie.
The battle is over, I see. I do solemnly swear to every living being and every living soul. Now cometh the age of the stars. 1,000-year voyage under the wisdom of the moon. Here beginneth the chill night that encompasses all, reaching the great beyond. Into fear, doubt, and loneliness, as the path stretcheth into darkness. Well then, shall we? My fair consort eternal.
Alternate dialogue. This is interesting. I wonder how you would get alternate dialogue.
Let us go together. My dear consort eternal.
Here, I have up the Elden Ring wiki page of the endings. And I'm just going to see, generally speaking, what causes each one to diverge from the others. So we have the Age of Fracture here. Must not inherit the frenzied flame when touching fractured Marika. After the final boss, choose to mend the Elden Ring to get the Age of Fracture ending. The Age of Fracture is the default ending, where the Tarnished chooses to mend the Elden Ring as it is and begin the new age as Elden Lord. So, yeah, very much the default sort of nothing too crazy ending. The Age of the Duskborn. After using the curse mark of death on Godwin's corpse to give him a second life as the first of the dead, Fia lays with him and bears the first of dead demigods in the form of a rune. In this ending, the Tarnished chooses to use this mending rune of death of the Death Prince to begin a new age of the Duskborn as the Elden Lord, where the lands between are engulfed in a harrowing fog and the principle of life within death is embedded into order, allowing those who live in death, the undead, to remain without persecution from living. It looks like it has some quotes here, one from Rogier. You may find this peculiar, but I discovered something in my examination of the Knight of Black Knives. These souls have committed no offense. They have every right to life, only they happen to touch upon a flaw in the order. Fia says, I will soon lay with Godwin, and it will surely stir within me the new life of the Golden Prince and the first dead of the demigods, as the rune of those who live in death. Please do one thing for me. Brandish this child, my rune, and take yourself the throne. Stay the persecution of those who live in death. So it's making it no longer some sort of sinful blasphemy to be an undead. Interesting. The Age of Order, which I assumed had to do with the Golden Order, the Age of Order results in a correction to the previous flaws of the Golden Order, where the Tarnished chooses to use the Mending Rune of Perfect Order on the Elden Ring to restore order to the lands between by shielding the land from the influences and machinations of powerful beings. The Age of Order thus envisions a new age of stability, where there is no more conflict brought about by fickleness of the gods no better than men. Brother Corin, I've been gripped by a terrifying thought. The rhythms and calculus of the master's finger betray a suspicion of the holism of the Golden Order, a conceit I am afraid that cannot be overlooked. Order Healing excerpt. The noble Gold Mask lamented what had become of the hunters. How easy it is for learning and learnedness to be reduced to the ravings of fanatics. All the good and great wanted in their foolishness was an absolute evil to contend with. Does such a notion exist in the fundamentals of order? The ending, which is the Blessing of Despair. The Blessing of Despair ending is an alternate version of the default ending, where the Tarnished chooses to use the Mending Rune of the Fell Curse and begin the new age as Elden Lord. The difference being the lands between has now been overtaken by a reviled curse, causing defiled souls to be unable to return to the Erd Tree. With the Fell Curse embedded in the Elden Ring, all present and future generations will be afflicted with despair. Roderica. I can hear them, the spirits, as they howl and lament in fear of the curse, and worse than ever, the reverberation of the twisted malison itself. But after all this time, I've started to grasp it now. I can hear, in the malison, another fearsome order. The Dung Eater. Countless I have killed, and countless I have defiled, and soon the fruits will be born. Hundreds will be reborn cursed, and they'll bear thousands of cursed children who bear tens of thousands more. A few of those will be born just like me, and they'll kill and defile and bless in my stead. The rotten fools. My fate was the grandest, most brilliant of them all. This ending sucks. I don't like this ending. Lord of the Frenzied Flame. In this ending, the Tarnished goes down a different path to become the Lord of Frenzied Flame. If the Frenzied Flame is inherited before the events at the Forge of the Giants, Melina leaves the Tarnished company, leaving the Tarnished to sacrifice their own body at the Forge. This leads to an extra scene at the ending, showing Melina, without the mark on her left eye, devoting herself to deliver destined death onto the player. If the player obtains the Frenzied Flame after the events at the Forge, the scene does not occur due to her own prior sacrifice. As explained by the Three Fingers through Hyetta at the end of her questline, this ending sees the Tarnished take up the mantle of the Lord of Chaos and tasked with burning the world, along with the mistakes of the Greater Will, all existing sin, torment, fracture, and curse, to unite everything and everyone in one big melting pot from which there is no return. It's like its own sick and twisted form of rebirth of the universe. The Age of the Stars. Again, the one that I got. In the Age of Stars, after defeating the Elden Beast, instead of mending the Elden Ring, the Tarnished summons Ranni the Witch in front of Marika's remains. Ranni supplants Marika as the Empyrean goddess and takes the Tarnished as her lord. She brings about an end to the Golden Order, establishing an order of her own, and in doing so, she removes the influence of the Erd Tree from the lands between. She leaves the lands between together with the Tarnished and takes her order with her on a journey meant to last 1,000 years. As a result of her absence, the lands between is left without a lord for the first time in an age. This kind of reminds me of, say, in Dark Souls 1, you have walking away from the first flame, and rather than re-upping the Age of Fire, you instead bring about an Age of Darkness. It's kind of that same concept of forging a new path into an era that has not been tread before, which I like. I'm satisfied with that ending, and it's the one, even given all of these, that I think I might have chosen. The only other one that sounds, I think, appealing to me is probably the Age of the Duskborn, the one with Fia and the removal of the life within death as a seen as some sort of curse or taboo. This is the other one that I think I really would have liked, but I'm certainly most satisfied with the one that I got, which is cool. It's good to know that I got the ending that I would have probably picked anyway. I'm really interested to watch some videos now and really get the full context for some of this, recontextualize some of these characters in my mind, and understand how these different plot threads were kind of weaving throughout the game, and get a fuller picture of what happened.